ESL, this Electronic Sports League, is going to get nothing but bigger.
Le e-sport, est-ce que vous connaissiez cette tendance? Did you guys hear about that? It's a huge market. It's probably the next big opportunity in the world of sport. To tell us about that, I would like to welcome the president of the Swiss Esport Federation. Please help me welcome Vinzenz Kogler.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope all of you know exactly what you were just watching. If you don't, chances are you're missing out on something that might be right now the largest digital entertainment trend out there. Now I hope that this thing is going to work. It does, perfect. Esports. Now, bear with me. Forget everything that you think to know about video games. Forget everything that you think to know about people playing video games. Forget all the long, outdated stereotypes about this lonesome guy hanging out, vegetating away in the darkness of his electro-smog-flooded cellar. Rethink what you consider makes a sport. And for the next 10 minutes or so, I certainly hope that you put this cultural prejudice aside and give me a chance to maybe change your view at how you look at video games. Now, let's start a little bit simple. Imagine gaming as a cake. Everything gaming is in there. There's sports games, shooter games, there's strategy games, Minesweeper, all the way to Pokemon Go. Everything that's a digital game is in that cake. So esports is, so to speak, a slice of that cake. It is playing those games, pretty much any game possibly, competitively. Now, competitively means you play it in a direct or indirect competition against other players, against other teams, in a competitive format, such as a league or a tournament, a cup, you name it, anything is possible. And if you're really, really good, you're going to end up playing in a stadium, like as we saw in the video, filled with thousands and thousands of fans live in the audience, millions more online watching the live broadcasts on different streaming platforms. Yes, indeed, millions. So for example, the World Championship finals last year of a game called League of Legends were followed by 43 million viewers. So this is only the final match of the tournament that actually goes on the entire year. So yeah, it has quite the audience. And what do those guys play for? Well, the obvious things like fame, honor, prestige, and quite a lot of money as well. So there's money involved. To be more precise, there was actually a record set just last year for the highest prize money in a single tournament, which was $25 million US. 11 of which went alone to the winning team. So this team, it's a team game, 5 players, so 2 million each. It's not such a bad salary. It's more than I make, more than most of you make, I'm pretty sure, but that's a different story. And those guys are superstars. And esports, think of it as the digitalization, no, think of it as the manifestation of the digitalization. It's in an entirely new form of digital sportive entertainment. It's not just a digitalization of a sport that already exists. It's not just goal cameras or the headset for the referees in football. It really is a sport in itself. It's a digital sport. And it's not about playing as much as possible. It's not about spending as much time as possible in front of your computer. To quote the Cantonal Federation of Esports in Geneva, which, by the way, is officially recognized by the sports governing body in Geneva as a cantonal governing body. Don't play more, play better. If you want to compete on the highest possible level in esports, the best teams have very specialized trainings. They focus, of course, things in-game, like how to execute a strategy, communications, and so on, but it goes way beyond this. There's often the best teams have coaches for, as well as physical workout, so people do have some complementary physical workout. They have to have some mental workout, and only if mind and body is really at balance, you are, as an athlete, able to compete at the highest possible level. That's true in a traditional sport as much as it is true also in esports. So who are those players? Little quick experiment. It's not like I can see anyone too well here, but raise your hand if and only if you never, ever, ever play any games. No Minesweeper, no card game on the computer, no Candy Crush on your phone, nothing. Is there a hand somewhere? I don't know. Yeah, there is one. I'm sorry to inform you that you're an endangered species nowadays, I'm afraid. So players are literally everywhere. You have, it's not only kids and students, it's not only workers, it's not only the cashier, it's the bankers. Even my coiffeuse, if she's not cutting hair, she kicks her customers' butts in some games. So it's literally everybody is playing video games these days. Our kids, well, I don't have any yet, but I guess at some point I will, certainly. Our kids grow up with gaming. And in that sense, they also automatically grow up with esports at the same time. It's something that just has become a part of youth culture nowadays. And the older those guys become, and at some point they're going to be grown-ups, at some point they're going to be in retirement, and then you have a population that's from the youngest up to the oldest aware of what esports is and what video games are. And the best athletes out there, they're heroes. They're superstars, besides being millionaires, obviously. They're idols to millions and millions of fans around the planet. Some of them, not all of them, some of them play the same video games as well and maybe aspire to become the next big top shot in the game of their choice. And one of those games is, for example, League of Legends, which I mentioned just before. League of Legends, by the publisher Riot Games, is probably the most popular game right now out there. And this game alone accumulates a monthly active users of 80 million. So that's not just people who created an account at some point and just let it rot in the corner. Those people are really active every month, 80 million. And this is just one game out of hundreds or thousands games that are played worldwide. Of course, we're in Switzerland. It's always important when there's a presentation in Switzerland to put things into relation for the country here. So I'll be honest, it's really hard to get good numbers on Switzerland. I'm very, very thin there. But there's one number I can give you, and that is the number of Steam accounts we have in Switzerland. Steam, let me explain, is a PC platform it's the most popular platform in the world to purchase games. So you can buy a game in this platform, download it digitally, and play the game at the same time. There are 800,000 Steam accounts alone in Switzerland. Now, if we add all the games that are not on Steam, like you know it, FIFA, NHL, all those games which are played on consoles typically, we're probably somewhere around 1 million, if not more. And if we take into consideration everything that's a mobile game on all your smartphones, on your tablets, I'm confident that we probably would get set somewhere around half of the population. So, and one thing that I guess we have to get used to, or that you might be wondering is, so there is actually people watching other people play video games? So that's usually one that's really hard to get to the head around by most people who are not familiar with this. And the answer is, frankly, yes, there are. In fact, it's a huge market. So there's two main platforms that are used to watch video game content worldwide. Worldwide. So it's YouTube in second place and Twitch.tv in first place. Twitch.tv is probably not going to ring a bell to any of you unless you're into gaming. It's the #1 streaming platform, has billions of hours watched video game content over the year. It's pretty big. So those two platforms combined have a viewership of 665 million viewers, viewers worldwide. As a fun fact, when you take the subscribers in the US to Netflix, HBO, and Spotify combined, that's half as many. So we have twice as many esports audience, gaming audience worldwide on those platforms for gaming video content. Also, having mentioned YouTube, who do you think is the most popular YouTuber out there? You probably think maybe it's some pop musician, it's a sports athlete, it's some famous person. Well, it is a famous person, in fact, but probably not to non-gamers. It is, in fact, a gamer, a Swede, called Felix Kjellberg, going by the name of PewDiePie. PewDiePie accumulates 50 million subscribers on his YouTube channel and is thereby the one channel on YouTube with the most subscribers. Twitter marketing has last year announced a number, quite an incredible number, which is 250 billion impressions on gaming-related tweets on their platform. Now again, you remember I said gaming is the cake, esports is just a slice. So we're looking at the gaming number right now, but I still want to give you an esports number as well. So of this 665 million people who watch gaming video content on Twitch TV and on YouTube, there's around 250 million esports enthusiasts that regularly follow esports tournaments around the planet. So, and spicing it off even a little bit more, there has been a recent study in the US again. The best numbers you can get out there are unfortunately for the US, but numbers are improving as time goes on and people gather more interest in the topic. Among male US citizens between the age of 21 and 35, esports is as popular as traditional sports in the US like baseball and hockey. So maybe important, they don't watch either of those. They tend to watch 2 or 3, they follow multiple sports, but the really important number here is that they just follow really as much esports as they follow traditional sports. And this is significant. I mean, usually people tend to think, well, esports is kind of a niche thing, but the younger you look at the younger the demography you look at, the more popular it has become, up to the point where it's actually at the same level as traditional sports. So if you want this population to become aware of your articles or your ads in print media, you better make sure that print media is more up to date than the internet, because the internet is your competition here. You cannot wait for those guys to come onto your media where you're advertising your services and your products, your content, whatever it is. You have to actually take your content to them where they can see it. And, well, where is this? Obviously, it's social media. It might be Tinder these days. I'm not sure if that's still a thing. And esports, obviously. So you really have to look at that realistically as a market where you might want to position yourself as a brand. And I hate to break this to you, but you might already be late to the party. I hope you don't mind if that party got already started without you, because many brands are already in there. So there's the obvious ones, the traditional ones, which are either software or hardware suppliers worldwide with names like Intel, Asus, Logitech, HyperX. I could probably go on with this list of hundreds and hundreds of more brands, which will probably not ring much of a bell for most of you unless you're already into gaming. Then there is non-endemic brands that are already in gaming. They not directly have something to do with it, but they still kind of make sense to most people, which is soft drinks and energy drinks. But the really exciting ones are those brands which basically started to enter the whole topic in the past, let's say, 2 years. And non-endemics that really stood out to myself, so that's just a selection of the brands that I kind of like most. In this context are things like Audi, Mercedes, Emirates, Visa, Gillette. Even those kids don't have beard yet, they might need a shaver at some point. Twitch TV, the platform I mentioned before, was acquired in 2014 for nearly $1 billion by Amazon. So Amazon is a huge player in this area. And even little Switzerland has started to take attention. So domestic, non-endemic brands have started to take a liking in this topic as well. Most of all, for example, last year was Swisscom, which just in the end of last year have announced a partnership with our federation, with the Swiss Esports Federation, among other partnerships they have started. So ESL, I want to thank ESL at this point for letting me use their video in the beginning of my presentation to kick everything off. I hope it brought you into the right mood, made you open up your mind to this topic. I want to, if you doubt any of those numbers, of course, never trust a statistic which you didn't kind of make yourself. Newzoo is pretty much the go-to platform worldwide for market data on esports. So you go there, you can look pretty much at all the data I presented today. You can look at additional data. It's really, really interesting to look at the stuff you have up there. If you want to get involved, if you're interested, if you want to have a sneak peek at an event in Switzerland, drop by at our website. There's a calendar. There's pretty much an event somewhere in Switzerland every other week. And maybe you are already involved. Maybe one of you is a gamer. Maybe one of you has a team or an event that you run. Just reach out to us, and we're glad to guide you to whatever it is that you need. And if you want to watch content, you can go to Twitch TV any day of the week at any time of the day. You have content there 24/7. There's thousands and thousands of live produced content up there at any point in time. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands people watching those. And not all of them are high quality, but usually towards the weekend you get really good tournaments to watch. And so with this, I want to also thank Korea for inviting me to present to you what is my passion. It really is my passion. I mean, to many, esports is a business, or sports in general is just a business. It's entertainment. Sure, a lot of it is entertainment. But to me personally, I think what matters the most is it's about competition. Just as in sports and esports, it's competition what makes the whole thing work. And most of all, it's passion. And this, I want to thank you guys for your attention. And well, I guess I'll get some questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinzenz. Thank you very much. I sit on the board of the Montreux Comedy Festival. It's a comedy festival, so I host events every year. And this year, I had an interview with somebody who's working with YouTubers. Yeah. And I've been involved with them for 10 years, so I saw the rise of YouTubers who have been the disruptors of comedy. You know, you had an older generation of comedians, and then YouTubers arrived. And I was telling them, it's been 10 years, you guys have been the innovators. Like, is there anybody that scares you, that might take away the audience from you? And the guy's answer was gamers. And gamers are gaining market share in terms of attention towards the younger generation. So very, very interesting phenomena. The cash money is really rising, the attention is rising. Countries like Korea have, like, you can walk by and gamers are rock stars. Yeah. My question for you, are we going towards a world where you think parents will tell their kids, please play more, you have to train?
I might not go that far, I think.
But these are athletes, right?
Yeah, they're those guys are athletes. But I mean, compared to traditional sports, I mean, at what point would a parent kind of force their kids to go to the football trainings more and more? I mean, you only push your kids to do something that you feel the kids really enjoy. And I guess once you realize they might even have a certain talent, then I hope that those parents support them. And I certainly hope that in the future, if this talent is in esports, the parents will support their kids towards their improving their esports skills after all.
Thank you very much. Vinzenz Kogler. Thank you, Vinzenz.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing your passion with us.